What's up everybody, Alex the Critic here, and happy April Fool's Day! I was originally going to upload a joke video today, but I decided to scrap that idea for two reasons. One, I didn't think the joke was that funny, and two, I just don't really like being dishonest with my videos. I prefer to keep things as genuine as possible when it comes to my reviews. I don't mind joking in my videos or being hyperbolic for the sake of entertaining you guys, but I want to keep things as real as possible with y'all, even on April Fool's Day. Unfortunately, I decided to scrap the video that I had been spending a week working on about 2 days before April Fool's Day. I'm kind of a fucking moron like that. With all of that being said, how about this coronavirus quarantine we've all been put under, huh? How have you guys been handling that? Things have been alright on my end. See, I was already an introverted loser before this pandemic hit, so me being ordered to stay at home wasn't that big of an issue. Thanks to the coronavirus, I just ended up watching a bunch of old viral YouTube videos, and that's when I rediscovered a wonderful little series called Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. As I started binging through the series over and over again, I got to thinking, which episode of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is the most disturbing? Well, I'm going to spend April Fools giving you guys the answer to that question, so let's get things started.
First things first, let's cover the basic history of the show. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is a 6-episode web series created by Becky Sloan and Joseph Pelling. The show itself revolves around 3 friends named Yellow Guy, Red Guy, and Duck Guy being taught basic lessons about life by inanimate objects that come to life and sing to them. At least, that's how each episode starts. The series is a parody of educational children's shows, and every moral that the 3 protagonists are taught devolve from cheerful and trustworthy to disturbing and sinister, thanks to the machinations of Yellow Guy's father, Roy, who controls what happens to our protagonists in each episode. If you want a good example of the show's fucked up nature, look no further than the 2nd episode, which discusses the subject of time. For the majority of the episode, a singing clock teaches our protagonists about how useful time is. However, right as the song is about to end, the clock tells our protagonists about how fleeting their lives really are. All the while, we're treated to the splendid imagery of the protagonists aging horribly and having their skin rot away as they beg for their torture to end.
Yeah, this show is fucked up, but chances are you already knew that going into this video. I mean, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared became one of the biggest viral web shows of all time, specifically because of how disturbing it is. The first episode alone has nearly 60 million views, and the show itself has one of the largest and most dedicated fan bases of any series on the internet, with hundreds of theories about the meaning behind the show being written by dozens of people. Even if you've never watched Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, you at least know the gist of what it's about if you've been on the internet for long enough. That's how iconic the show has become.
The first season of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared ended on June 19, 2016, when the 6th and final episode was uploaded to YouTube. Since then, the channel has been largely inactive, save for a teaser trailer for the show's 2nd season, which was uploaded on September 13, 2018. Speaking of the 2nd season, I don't like how the producers have handled the distribution of Wakey Wakey so far. Much of the 2nd season has apparently been screened at Cannes already, and several pirated copies of those episodes have been uploaded to YouTube, but nothing's been officially uploaded to the main Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared channel. Like, what are they trying to do? Why are they holding out an entire season's worth of episodes that are clearly finished? Are they gonna put it out on like a paid streaming service? Or are they waiting for a certain date to come around? Or what? What's the plan here, you guys?
Alright, I gotta stop myself there. I am not gonna get into that. Instead, let's finally get back to the main topic of this video, which is the 3rd episode of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. This episode is pretty unique in that it doesn't take too sharp of a disturbing turn. There's no blood or gore, and there are no jump scares. This episode actually stays pretty mellow and laid back, and it has arguably the catchiest song in the whole series. So why do I think that it's the most disturbing one? Well, allow me to explain.
The third installment of Don't Hug Me I'm Scared is all about love. The video starts with all three of our main protagonists having a chicken picnic outside. The yellow guy gets all happy when a butterfly flies by the group. However, after Duck Guy smashes the butterfly to death, yellow guy runs away crying about it.
What a fucking pussy. Everybody knows that butterflies are the spawn of the devil, and he shouldn't be so happy to see one. I can see now why his father torments him and his friends every episode.
Yellow guy climbs a tree and continues crying for a bit, until an anthropomorphic butterfly appears and offers to teach yellow guy about what love is through a song. Yellow guy agrees, and for the rest of the episode, the butterfly flies him through the sky as he sings about the virtues of love. Yellow guy also meets all sorts of cute and cuddly critters who explain how and why people fall in love. Towards the end of the song, however, everybody tells Yellow Guy that a relationship between a man and a woman is the only legitimate form of love. They also introduce Yellow Guy to their god of love, Michael, a giant head that is only appeased if he's fed gravel. The singing animals ask the Yellow Guy to forget everything he's ever known and to undergo brainwashing so that he can join their cult of love and, quote, never be alone. It's then that the yellow guy wakes up at the tree branch he was sitting on at the beginning of the episode, screaming in horror. His friends walk up to him and offer him a boiled egg as a show of love. However, a bloody butterfly baby emerges from the egg, shouts "Father," and in a callback to the beginning of the episode, the baby then gets smashed to death by Duck Guy, which ends the video.
There's a lot to get into with this episode, but because I'm running on an extremely tight schedule, I'm only going to touch on a couple of the main reasons why this episode creeps me out so much. Let's get started.
For one, this episode has the most unnerving concept of the whole series. As I just explained during my recap, Yellow Guy gets indoctrinated into a homophobic, hive-minded cult that worships a gravel-eating giant head. The twist itself isn't what weirds me out though, it's how the twist is delivered. All of the other episodes of Don't Hug Me I'm Scared are very straightforward when they get to their disturbing turns. They hit you in the face with graphic and gory imagery, often leaving very little to the imagination. The third episode, however, is what we reviewers like to call subtle. The revelation that Yellow Guy is joining a dangerous cult is slowly introduced to us in a very relaxing and catchy way. None of the characters singing to Yellow Guy ever sound distorted or evil at any point during the episode. In fact, they act as if there's nothing wrong with what's happening. That's exactly how real-world cults operate. Cult leaders bring people into their fold by being charismatic and by preying on people's insecurities. They emotionally manipulate people into engaging in horrible and heinous actions with promises of a happy life and a loving community of like-minded people. This episode captures that phenomenon perfectly, and that fucks with me more than any of the other episodes do.
Also bumps up the creepiness factor for me are all of the unsettling little moments that occur throughout the episode, one of which being Duck Guy just blankly staring into the camera after he suggests that he and Red Guy should go look for Yellow Guy.
Maybe we should look for our friend. Isn't that what friends do? And we have finished the chicken picnic.
I don't really know why this shot exists. A theory that I saw floating around is that this shot is supposed to emphasize how the duck has committed cannibalism by eating some chicken, but I don't really think that that theory holds a lot of water because ducks and chickens are pretty different from one another, so it really wouldn't make sense to call a duck a cannibal for eating some chicken. Maybe this shot is just here to intentionally creep us out. I mean, considering how self-aware this series is, I would be willing to believe that the creators would fuck with us like that.
Another off-putting moment in the episode is when Yellow Guy is petting a beaver, and the beaver does this.
Harder.
Alright, I need an adult.
Next, there's the interlude in the middle of the song where a tree tells Yellow Guy the story of Michael, the so-called ugliest boy in town who lives alone in an underground cave. Not only is the story animated in a woodcut-esque style to make this small segment appear as off-putting as possible, but the story itself doesn't even tie into the lesson that the singing butterfly was trying to teach Yellow Guy, which is that everyone has a special person that they're supposed to reserve their love for. For God's sake, this is the butterfly's response after we get told this heartbreaking story.
You see, everyone has a special one. Even Michael!
What the hell is the connection between the story of Michael and the moral? Is the episode trying to intentionally screw with us again? Or is it implying that there's some darker message here that I'm just too stupid to grasp? To quote Steve Smith from American Dad,
Last but certainly not least, there's the final scene of the episode.
Father! Pesky bee?
I have several questions. First of all, if that's supposed to be a hard-boiled egg, then how did any living being pop out of it? Methinks that the duck is a bad cook. Second of all, why is the baby calling the yellow guy his father? Is the episode trying to imply that yellow guy had a baby with the butterfly guy that he was dreaming about? If that's the case, then was this entire episode a dream or not? Was any of this real? Am I real? What the hell is going on here?
Okay, as you can see, this episode is pretty fucked. While it might not be as gory as the other episodes of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared were, it certainly has the darkest themes. Sure, the second and fifth episodes tapped into some horrifying concepts, but personally, this episode was the only one that got to me on a deeper level. You see, I've never really been too freaked out by all the gross shit that happens in the rest of the show. The other 5 episodes get less creepy the more I watch them, mainly because outside of the gore, I don't really find them all that frightening. Yes, they introduce some existential nightmare fuel, but I've just never been too affected by that. With this episode, however, there's just something so unsettling about how upbeat and cheerful this cult is, and how friendly its members act as they try to indoctrinate Yellow Guy into their group. They remind me a lot of the satanic forest animals from that one South Park Christmas special. You know, the ones that tricked Stan into killing the mountain lion that was keeping them from resurrecting the Antichrist. Man, I hate those guys. What makes both the love cult and the woodland critters so terrifying to me is that they appear to be these friendly, lovable characters that you could pal around with, but in reality they're these horrible monsters that are either going to gnaw your face off or take away your free will. If I had any firearms on me, I'd shoot them all on the goddamn spot.
So yeah, those are all of the reasons why I think that this episode is the most disturbing one in the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared series. I didn't even bring up all of the Easter eggs that are hidden all throughout this episode, such as a missing poster that's nailed to a tree at the beginning of the episode that says that the protagonists have been gone since June 19th, which is the same day when all of the other Don't Hug Me episodes take place. However, we'd be here all day if I went through every little detail that there was to notice in this video. So I'm going to end things here. I'm Alex Critic, and if there's one thing that I want you guys to take away from this video, it's this one piece of advice. Don't join any cults. You never know if they might worship giant heads that feed on gravel. Actually, if you were to join that fictional cult, wouldn't gathering all that gravel be a massive pain in the ass? Where are you supposed to get gravel? Do you just drive to Home Depot and ask one of the employees for a bag of gravel? And if it is that easy, what would you even tell the employee what the gravel was for? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna use this bag of gravel to feed the god that I worship. That's weird. That's a weird thing to tell somebody. So don't join a cult. I'm Alex Critic, and I'll see you guys next time.
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative.
How do you get that idea?
I just try to think creatively. Now when you look at this orange, tell me please, what do you see?